Hello, pre-algebra students. In this video, we're going to talk about reflections, and we're going to start out by talking about reflecting over the x-axis. So in this case, we're thinking of the x-axis as a mirror. And so basically, if I want to reflect this shape over the x-axis, I'm just going to fold it across the x-axis, and it ends up down here. So my new shape is down below. So what really happened here? Well, each point went from one side of the x-axis directly down to the other. So this one, that was at -2, 1, is going to go down to, let me find my orange pen, -2, -1. So what do you think is going to happen to the point that started out at -4, 2? Well, it just goes down to the same point on the other side. So it's going to be -4, -2. This point that was at -1, 3 is going to end up at -1, -3. And this point, that was at -6, 5, is going to stay at -6, but then go down to -5. So our new shape is going to look something like this. Well, it's the same shape, it's just pointed in a different direction. It's reflected, it's flipped. So now let's talk about reflection over the y-axis. So in this case, the y-axis is our mirror. So if we start like this, it's going to go over to the other side of the y-axis. So it's going to look something like that. So what's happening? Well, the y values are staying the same. It's just flipping like this. This is our mirror, the y-axis. So that shape we started with is now going to be on the other side of the y-axis. So in terms of the coordinates, what happens? Well, if the y stays the same, then this new point should be 1, 3. The x is the sign that flipped. This one that was -2, 1 keeps the 1, but the x flips to +2, 1. This one, my picture is not perfect, but is now going to be 4, 2 instead of -4, 2. And this one that was -6, 5 is now on the positive side, so it'll be 6, 5. So let's write down the rules that we've got so far. So to reflect over the x-axis, we change the y value to be negative. So 3, 2 would change to 3, -2. To reflect over the y-axis, we change the sign of the x-coordinate. So x would switch to the opposite sign. So 3, 2 would become -3, 2. Now there's one more that you're going to see, and that is reflection over the line y equals x. So let's get a fresh paper for that one. So here we go. I've got this little triangle, and I want to reflect it over y equals x. So that means that y equals x becomes my mirror. So look. The new triangle is going to be kind of wonky right about here. So what happens when we reflect over y equals x is we switch the x and the y coordinate. So this point goes across to the other side. So instead of being 0, 1, now look, it's 1, 0. This one that was negative 1 comma 3 is now going to be 3 comma negative 1. I just switched the order. And this one that was 1, 2 is now going to be 2, 1. So that's my new triangle. Goes from here, flips over that mirror to here. So the rule for reflecting over y equals x is just to switch the order. Now I do want to do one more example. If we're reflecting over x equals 2, that just means make this one your mirror. So what you should do is look at, let me pick one more color. So this point had to go 1 to get to x equals 2, so it's going to have to go 1 onto the other side. This one had to go 3, so it'll have to go 1, 2, 3 on the other side. And this one had to go 2, so it'll have to go 2 on the other side. So the x equals 2 becomes our mirror. So I hope that these examples helped you out a little bit, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye!